Let it go 얼어붙어 like wow 띵하고 어지러워 I see 한여름에도 넌 겨울 Yeah, girl, cold-blooded Yeah, 너와 있을 때 I swear 제가 온도 zero 폭설한 그 children 꿈에도 I wasn't aware 나만 빼고 넌 모두에게 참 친절해 배신감이 들어 단판이 태도 머릿속을 흔드니 ibuprofen 그만해 it's time to stop 승부욕을 자극하는 style yeah. 알면서도 마음이 자꾸 내게 가 안만 빠져버릴까 If you want me back I'll tell you I'm sorry If you want me back I'll tell you stop trying Yeah, you got me Let it go 얼어붙어 like wow 띵하고 어지러워 I see 한여름에도 넌 겨울 Yeah, girl you cold-blooded Yeah, girl you cold-blooded Yeah Girl you cold-blooded Girl you cold-blooded I'm like frozen 뭐야 모두 stress은 gotta let it go 했어 속에 뜬 dating 어플 다 깔아 또 보았어 반대가 끌린대 opposites attract Don't know about me and you yeah we fell into the cracks Yeah 갖고 너네 no cap 왜 난 안 보여 what's happening 객관적일 수가 없이 이미 game white flag and waving fast Yeah I'm leaving back but 말해도 너만 보면 나도 내 맘 I don't know 이건 love a relationship 헷갈리기만 해 girl I'll tell you I'm sorry If you want me back I'll tell you stop trying Yeah, you got me Let it go 얼어붙어 like wow 띵하고 어지러워 I see 한여름에도 넌 겨울 Girl you cold-blooded Let it go 얼어붙어 like wow 띵하고 어지러워 I see 한여름에도 넌 겨울 Yeah, girl you cold-blooded Yeah, girl you cold-blooded Girl you cold-blooded Girl you cold-blooded Yeah, girl you cold-blooded Girl you cold-blooded Girl you cold-blooded
Salute and good evening to everyone. Welcome to another edition of Sir Health Speaks. It is good to see you guys. I'm glad that you guys are here. Let me make sure, can you guys hear me pretty well and see me pretty well? I want to make sure that I'm coming through crystal clear and that you guys get a quality experience. If you guys can hear me pretty well, let me know that you guys can hear me in the chat. I want to make sure that we are good. Salute to Mark V, who is in the building. Good to see you. If we're coming through clear, let me know.
Sir Health Speaks in the
If we're coming through clear, let me know in the chat. It is good to see everybody tonight. I tell somebody to join in. We're going to have a really dope conversation tonight. I'm going to highlight some things that you probably have already seen, but it's some things we got to talk about, guys. It's some things we got to talk about in this particular broadcast because I think that in the world of broadcasting, in the world of podcasting, everybody has a microphone. Everybody just can say whatever they want to say, and I've got to clear up some things as it relates to relationships. But before we do this, let's get some house cleaning done. This September, I'm going to be one of the speakers at the Black Manosphere Conclave. Now, this is going to be a fantastic event. There are going to be some people there that we all know and we love their content. Shannon Ross is going to be there. The lead attorney will be there. Obsidian is going to be there. We've got Theo, we've got Real Nathan Daly, we got the kosher clinician. We've got all kinds of people who are going to be there, and even some special guests. So I want you guys, if you are interested and you are focused on your development as a man, it is very important that we push this event and that we try to get as many people to this event as possible. Now listen, let me put some truth into this. This is something that is the starting point. And I want us to make sure that we promote this and we show up and we leave a resounding echo in this world that not only can Black men come together, but that we are coming together to build other Black men. Now, you guys have been saying for generations that it's time for Black men to, take the lead and to, be an example, well, we are doing it. And this is your opportunity to support. So we're going to have people there who help you with your image. We've got a clinician who's going to be there. The lead attorney is going to be there. An outstanding speaker, a 20-year divorce attorney is going to be there offering his perspective. The real Nathan Daly, an officer. We've got somebody there who's going to be talking about the cloud and technology. I'll be there talking about marriage. There is so much to gain from this experience, and I want to make sure that we get as many men there as possible. So ladies, if you've got a man, I want you to encourage him to be a part of this event. Don't put too much focus on the cost of the flight or the hotel. Do what it takes to show up for this event. I believe that it's going to be life-changing. All right.
Sir,
if you can do that, I'll have the details in my community section. If you guys are just coming in, you should see the link pinned to the top as well. Go there, registration, and then make sure you check out the details. I would love to see you guys there at the Black Manosphere Conclave. All right, salute to you, Rayology. Good to see you in the building. Glad that you were here tonight. So why are we doing this show tonight? Why am I doing this show tonight? As a person who's been married for 16 years and talking about relationships for the last 20-something years, you start to see the evolution of the way people think about relationships, both men and women. And depending on what you are around the most, you become cultured by it. So let me give you an example. If you are constantly around women who are talking about their negative experiences about men, well, suddenly that template becomes downloaded in you, and you either start living out the bad behaviors that you heard, or you live your life as a man trying not to be what you heard was so bad. The very same thing is true for women. If you grow up around women who complain about men and you ingest that long enough, then you will take on the behavior and mannerisms of someone who's experienced pain and you've never really experienced it. And I think that this is what's happening today. I think that we are almost at a climax of sorts. And a salute to Reckless Ray in the building. Good to see you. I salute to you. I think that we're at a climax in terms of these conversations. And so I'm going to be having some discussions, and I'm going to be tackling some things. So if it's going to ruffle some feathers, it's going to ruffle some feathers. But we got to be real about this stuff, because I think the people who have the loudest voices are just saying stuff a lot of times for clout. And I think that we have to add some perspective and some truth to what we talk about. So I've been, doing my content mining and hunting and just listening to things, and I keep noticing something. I notice a pattern. I notice something about when a lot of women who are more modern, who are more money oriented, more career oriented, when they speak about relationships and about what their value is in a relationship in relation to their jobs and career and success, you start to hear that they believe that men should want the boss chicks. You start to hear this, and it's simply not what men want. Now, we could go in circles. It's equivalent to saying that, a lot of men were complaining that most women wanted a man who was over 6 feet tall. You got a 6-incher, right? Who's making 6 figures, so on and so forth. A lot of men were complaining about what women want, and they were complaining not because they were those things, but they were complaining because they are not those things. And when men started adding their perspective to it, suddenly you start to see pushback, because it seems like in the culture we exist in today is we afford the opportunity for our women to have their own preferences, while men, we must acquiesce to what women say that men should want. Well, as this conversation has evolved, and most of you guys here, if you guys have been around the space long enough, you have heard these kind of conversations almost explode, and people who were having a civil discourse suddenly plunged into an all-out argument. So this begs the question. Women say that they want a man to fulfill several requirements before they feel the need to trust, to support, and to submit to him. And tonight I want to discuss that. And I'm saying this because I feel sorry for a lot of women. And I'm going to tell you why. As I've been looking at content and mining for not only what's occurring, but what women are listening to and what they are mimicking, a lot of women are being fed a level of trauma regurgitated in the form of empowerment. Like I listened to a lot of women who were speaking, particularly pretty women who has some options, pretty face, and maybe a pretty body. They take their traumatic experiences and they package it into a whole lifestyle that's devoid of reasoning outside of their own. It's a very important thing because women are typically more understanding. They're more willing to participate in delusion from the perspective of they don't want to leave anybody hanging. Instead of just calling stuff for what it is, women will go along with it, even if they know deep down inside this woman she's off a rocker. As I've seen this, it is not just older women. Like we talk a lot about women who are post-wall. Guys, I want you to hear me. The people who are really being affected by this is not the 35 plus women. It's really your 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old girls who have heard all of this negative rhetoric about men and relationships for so long that they enter into love and relationships with this jaded perspective that men are somehow wrong and that they don't care about women. And it's pathetic. So before I go into this, I want to play something because I want you guys to hear just how deep this goes. If you guys were on the show late last night, salute to Black Men Unfiltered in the building. Good to see you. If you guys were here last night, I played a video, but I'm going to play a little bit more because I want you guys to get this. But we have got to address the elephant in the room. Let me play this clip. I want you guys to see this. And we're going to get into the smoke tonight. All right, let's listen to this brief clip. And then we're going to get right on into it.
But yeah, a matter of factly, because once you learn the nature of a man and once you learn his motivations, it's idiotic for him not to be paying 100%. And every man deeply knows that, man, this bitch stupid for going 50-50. She's stupid. They know that because the male knows that he ain't bringing a goddamn thing to the table. He know that the woman is the value. Everything, the family, the kids, the access to sex, stuff that he would not have access to. The male needs the woman for so many things. His life depends on it. Men experience inflammation, physical pain when they break up from women. When women leave men, it's a different thing for a man to break up when they break up. A man hurts physically. A man experiences inflammation by living alone for an extended period of time. It hurts.
Now, guys, you heard that. Very well-spoken woman. I don't agree with, I took a look at some of her content. I don't agree with her perspective on men at all. I believe that she comes from the perspective that everything is all men's fault. And I think that a lot of people who don't read a lot of books and they hear somebody who understands, certain psychological concepts, hear a very well articulated string of delusional perspective. And unless you are able to decipher between what's being said, you think that what the person is saying is spot on because they're echoing some of your experiences. But if you hold up an argument to logic, here, guys, listen to me carefully. Anybody's argument that cannot stand questioning is false. So when you hear people talk about, I don't have to prove nothing to anybody, I can say what I want to say, my perspective is my own, to each his own. When you start hearing people talk like this, it is because their argument is not strong enough to withstand scrutiny. They don't want anybody to disagree with what they're saying because it somehow makes their entire premise crumble. And so when I listen to things like this, it would suggest that while men, there is a biological and emotional, a human need for that men have of women, it suggests that women don't have need of men. And here's the Here is how men and women are pitched against each other, are pit against each other, is that a lot of women come into relationships hearing things like this and assume that just by being a woman, just by being a woman, her having a vagina, her having, breasts, her having looks, her having hair, the way that her makeup is, by extension of her just being a woman, that alone is valuable. That her just being, not what she's developed, not what she's become, not her character, not her heart, not her intelligence, that's not it. Just by virtue of her being a woman, just a woman, that brings value, and that simply is not the case. What this does is it sets a level of arrogance in a lot of our women that you guys see today. I know y'all see it. Y'all have seen women, whether these are women in your own family or friends, who believe that they deserve everything, while they are not responsible for giving nearly half of what they're expecting somebody else to give to them. Now, guys, you guys are on here. I want us to be real, and I got to let loose tonight and let you guys know exactly what's on my mind. We have raised a generation of women who are not only entitled, but the entitlement goes so deep that they have no point of reference for anything different, because they've been pumped with this type of rhetoric since they were little girls. They don't know anything else. And this is why when you start trying to have a logical conversation with somebody whose argument is not strong enough to withstand scrutiny, they don't try to go logic for logic, they go emotional. And this is when you start to see attacks. You start to hear stuff like, this man, look at how fat this man is. This man must be broke. This must be little dick energy, right? This man, he ain't successful if he's worried about women. Whatever she has to say to bring the argument down into a cesspool of negative emotions, because that is the only realm where a lot of these women are successful. They will derail a conversation so that we move from a place of logic to a place where now we're attacking each other and nobody wins. I want y'all to understand how deep this is. This is not a man versus woman thing. Like a lot of us, we keep thinking that we're still in this gender war, and there was a legitimate argument to be made about that. But this is not about men versus women. This is about good character versus no character. This is about people who are willing to give versus people who are only willing to take. And it just so happens that some of these characteristics we see show up more or less in different genders based off of who we're talking about. So we see a lot of this entitlement with our women because society has enabled it. You don't see this kind of entitlement from men because men know that if we don't go out and hustle and get it ourselves, no one is coming to save us. Not the church, not our fathers, not our mothers, not our brothers, not our sisters, not our pastors, not our government. No one is coming to save men. And so we learn at a very young age that if we don't go get up and make something of ourselves, no one else will. No one else cares. Like you've got men who work and who provide, and they don't get that care from the family who lives with them. If they are struggling to get care for from their family, then what does that say about how the world sees men? On the contrary, women could be negligent, could be irresponsible, and although things are shifting, there is still some support. And this is why women are afforded to be negligent in their character, because we allow it. And men are not. Either we get it or we don't. And no one's going to have any sympathy. This makes sense. Salute to everybody here. Take heed to the message. Good to see you. Ricky Webster, appreciate you for the $5 super chat. He says supporting the show. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. So this is where we are. So we see her. She makes this statement that men, we know that if we are in a relationship, that it's the woman who has the value. And by virtue of her being of that value, a man should pay anyway. That's the reason men should pay, because by virtue of her simply being a woman, men should take the bill. Well, I got a part 2 to this show that I'm going to be doing on Wednesday. Y'all don't want to miss it. But if women hold all of the value, then why is there such let me say it this way. If women hold all of the value, then why do women expect a man to be better than her before she submits? I want you guys to really think about this. If it's a woman who holds all the value, then why does the man have to be stronger, smarter, taller, more spiritual, more established, able to teach her something? If she holds all the value, I'll tell you why, because it's a stupid argument.
Sir,
It is
it
a plainly stupid argument that makes people who don't understand the dynamics of relationships feel better about being selfish and being entitled. Yeah, I said it.
Sir, hell speaks in the bit.
We have raised a generation of self-absorbed, entitled women who believe that the world owes them something. Now, part of this is the result of fathers not taking the approach of raising our daughters with a level of toughness that we give our sons. So in some ways, we have perpetuated this because we thought we had to. It's typically what we saw done. But the truth is a lot of women, we enable this because you keep on giving other women permission to be entitled. I gotta go here, y'all.
Sir, hell speaks
A
in
lot
the
of
bit.
podcasters who are helping these women to be delusional, they don't give a care about these women. They don't care about these women's relationships. They don't care about these women's marriages. They care about supporters. Because if you cared about women and what they want, if you cared about women who wanted to be wives, you wouldn't be pandering, saying things that make them feel good and keeping them in this perpetual emotional state of pain and agony, recalling trauma. What you're doing is you're creating a lifetime customer instead of building women for life so that they're capable of having a man that they love and who they can receive love from and raising successful children. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I want you guys to get this. I want you guys to hear what I'm saying. There's a lot of you women, you gravitate to other women who have a level of trauma. So if she tells you about her abuse, which is true, and I want to apologize for any woman on here who has suffered abuse in any kind of way as a child, as a woman, at the hands of somebody you trusted. No woman, no man, nobody deserves to be abused, to be taken advantage of. It is unacceptable. I think people who do these kind of things should be imprisoned. The book should be thrown at them. Absolutely. But a lot of women take trauma and then they monetize that trauma, and you're on this, you've been healing for the last 10 years of your life, because what we have done is we've made healing the new opioid. Healing is the new crack. If I keep getting you to smoke this healing, if I get you to keep on smoking this, you'll be a customer for years, and you have to heal from everything and from everybody, and you can't even be happy with your own life because you're high on it. You're high on this concept of healing, that you're eternally damaged, and you need somebody in front of you telling you all the things that you need to hear, because what we've done is we are focusing on our women healing while we have stopped our women from growing. And the reason why we don't want our women to grow is because if they grow, they'll go. They won't be another consumer of women who keep on spewing out the pain and rhetoric, pulling on women's real trauma for gain. I'm gonna pause there. I want y'all to let me know if I'm on to something. The truth is, it could be said about men as well. A lot of times, different content creators and different speakers, we play on people's pain for our advantage. It goes both ways. But in the context of what I'm talking about tonight, I'm talking about this because I see that there were a lot of wives, and I'm going to say something that might go against the grain. There's a lot of single mothers who could be potentially good wives. There were a lot of women who are post-war who could potentially be good wives. But the reason you can't be a good wife and you won't be in a position to be a good wife is because instead of you listening to people who have actually done the work and who are willing to give you the truth on how to be a better woman first, forget being somebody's girlfriend or somebody's wife. Instead of listening to people who help you to become a more seasoned and well-rounded woman, a more intelligent, a more self-aware woman, you go to women who help you to conjure up what your last ex-boyfriend did. And here's the kicker. They only talk about what that person did. They'll never make you look at your own self in the mirror.
Sir, hell speaks in the book.
Because when people want you to continue consuming their crack, they'll bring up everything that make you say, yeah, see, my mama did this to me. Yeah, my daddy did this, which might be true. Yeah, my ex-husband did it. Yeah, he might have done that to you. But what they never do is make you look at yourself. Because some of y'all are lying about your ex-husband, you're lying about your ex-boyfriend, you're lying about your baby daddies. You're lying to yourself, and you're going to other women who help you to sustain that lie because it feels good not to have to be accountable for the decisions you've made for your own life. So you go here, and now everything is trauma. Everything is trauma. Your bad decision comes from a place of trauma. You repeating the cycle is from a place of trauma. You going back to make a bad decision is from a place of trauma. Nothing is ever about you simply a ratchet and there's an area in your life that you haven't grown. No, we have to dish responsibility on trauma, on ex-husband, on your ex-baby daddy, on your family, on the economy, on the food you eat, on the environment that you're in. The pastors aren't preaching like they should. Politicians are crooked. It's blame on everybody because what we don't want women to do is look in the mirror because women's feelings get hurt. And what we do is a policy in the culture is we protect women's feelings. I want you guys to feel what I'm saying. We are so willing to protect our women's feelings at the expense of them growing. And so some of y'all who you see your aunties right now who's talking about how bad men are and how bad it is, she's going to be single for the rest of her life because everybody is too afraid to tell her the truth because nobody wants to hurt her feelings. So we get to this place where we see and we keep on hearing that women, that they are just valuable. And I want to make this clear. Men value women. I'm not saying that women are not. If you guys looked at my last clip that I posted on Instagram and on YouTube, I said that women are the prize. Yep, I said it.
Sir, hell speaks of
Women are indeed the prize. But if women are the prize, it's only a prize if she gets picked. So you can't be walking around talking about you a prize, but you're unpickable. You're a prize, you're a 10, you all of these things, but somebody who is of substance doesn't find you worth picking. Well, no, you might be behind the counter, but it's really a prize when somebody is willing to put a ring on it and say, I want to make you mine.
Sir, hell speaks in the bit.
I know it's a little bit, it's early in the evening, but I'm cooking for you tonight because I want you guys to get this. I want to see women successfully married. But you cannot develop a successful relationship with anybody until you can develop a healthy perspective and an honest perspective about yourself as it stands right now. Can we go a little bit deeper, y'all?
Sir, hell speaks in the
Can we go a little bit deeper? What we have done is we have substituted femininity for spirituality. We've substituted it. Now, instead of women operating in their femininity, we just throw some kind of spiritual awakening on top of this. She's discovering herself. She's walking down a particular path and it's self-discovery. But this self-discovery oftentimes lead to a place of selfishness because we're uncomfortable with saying that a wife is made to help a man. Some of you who are watching this don't even like my content. But you're not watching this because you want to simply hear what I have to say. Deep down, although you don't like my content, you know that something that I'm saying is true. And you could try to deny it. You can try to use some straw man arguments or use things to distract from what I'm talking about. But deep down, while my message might not be for everybody, there are certain people who can't stand me, but who listen to my message because you know that what I'm saying is absolutely facts. Your mother didn't tell you this truth. A lot of your pastors won't tell you this truth because people are focused on what you can produce for them. I want to tell you something very clear. I want you to come closer to the camera. I don't want anything from you except for you to be your very best self and for you to have the outcomes that you want to have. I don't need none from you but for you to be happy, for you to be successful, for you to be whole, and for if you're going to be some man's wife, to be the best wife to that man that he's ever had. And if you're going to be a mother, to be the best mother to those kids and them kids have ever seen. That is what I want from you. So people who need something from you are going to be reluctant to tell you the truth. Well, I'm not going to be reluctant because all I want for you is I want
Sir,
the best.
hell speaks in the bit.
Y'all feel me tonight? It's time to go a little bit deeper, y'all. I want you guys to see this clip because this is the premise of this video. This is the premise of this video. I'm doing this because women, you listen to something long enough and you'll start to do it. I can tell you how many wives I've seen create havoc in their own homes because they're taking advice from other women who have no history of being able to keep a man. They're getting their advice. Their confidants are women who don't care about a man, who can't keep a man. And if truth be told, if she had the opportunity, she'll mess with yours. They keep listening to stuff over and over again. They absorb it and they become it. And this is why you see so many women taking trips to Jamaica by themselves. This is why you see so many women. You see them taking pictures and selfies and posting reels about how wonderful their life is. I got to bust some bubbles.
Sir,
You keep on seeing women who post everything that they do online. They go to the shower, they got to take a reel. They're eating food, got to take a picture. Putting on shoes, got to take a picture. Clipping their toenails, got to take a picture. Just came out the restroom, got to take a picture, right? Kissing their kids, got to take a picture. Clean up. Anytime you see somebody who got to let the world know how great their life is, I'm sorry to break the news to you. They're only trying to get that attention because deep down inside, the only validation that they get for the misery that they are silently in is the attention and the clicks and the likes that they get from people who don't even know them. I know it stings, but I'm telling you not what I've heard. I'm telling you what I know. Happy women don't have to post everything. Happy women don't have to show everything. When you see them in their element, you can see a level of genuineness in what they post because they're giving you a little bit of insight into their world, but they're not coming on social media for your approval. They happy and all the women who are happy in real life, just type "that's me." If I'm talking to you, just in the chat, if you happy in real life, just type "that's me." If I share something, it's because I want you to know, not because I need you to. I don't need your validation. I don't need you to make me feel good. I don't need you to blow up my head. I'm good and real. All right, y'all, take a look at this clip. This is the basis of this show. I want you guys to listen to this because she's a very well-spoken lady. She's an attractive woman, but I want you to listen to what she's saying because she's giving bad advice or incomplete advice to women who want to be married. I want you guys to listen to this, and then I'm going to come back, and then we're going to respond to this. If you guys are enjoying the show, do me a favor, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. We're going to blow this channel up because we want to get people married. We want to see families successful. Let me play this, and then I'm going to be right back with you right after this.
If you're cooking for your boyfriend who's not your husband, you messed up still. You don't cook for men who are not your husband unless they're paying you and you're a chef and your name is on a check, okay? You don't cook for people unless you're a caterer, okay? Unless they're your children. You don't cook for grown men for free, okay? If you do, you're a pick-me. I'm sorry. And I will never say it's okay to cook for someone who's not your husband. You can cook and have a dinner party and invite other guests and let him taste your cooking if you're so worried about him thinking you can't cook. But you don't ever cook for him just to cook for him. You can bring him home some leftovers. You can bring him home some food from the restaurant. You can, bring him leftovers from your mom's house, but you can't cook for him. Okay? Why? Because that's wife privilege. Okay? Unless he's going to put you on his wheel and as the beneficiary of his insurance policy, you can't cook for him. Okay? So if he wants you to cook for him, have your name on some type of document where you are compensated in the future. Okay? Because you're putting in work as a wife and you're not getting any wife benefits. So, okay. Don't cook for that man. I don't care. Let him cook for you all he wants. You eat all his food, whatever. But you don't cook for him. You just tell him, oh, I only cook. I said I was only going to cook after I got married. So I'm waiting. You don't cook until you get married. Believe me. They shouldn't be marrying you because you're a good cook anyway. Okay? You shouldn't be married for your maid skills. You should get married for other things. If you have never cooked for him, except for a few times with other people, like maybe on a holiday and you cooked for everyone, and he knows you can cook, he should not be marrying you just for your food, just so he can have a meal. He should be marrying you because that is not what a wife is supposed to do. Okay? That's not why people get married. Not, oh, she can cook. That's not a reason to get married. That's not even in the marriage vows. Okay? The reason people get married are in the marriage vows. Listen to them. For better or worse. You know, the rich and poor, but that's what they think. You know, they don't say cook for your man. They don't. So they say forsake all others after you get married. Not before, but after. Okay? So make sure you're not giving him wife benefits. You act like you took them vows already and he haven't even given you a ring. And you want to be wife already. You're playing a role he's not even wanting for you to audition for. Okay? So stop. If you're cooking, throw all your pots out. If you're cleaning, throw all the cleaning supplies out. And tell him you're not doing that anymore. Okay? Until you are married.
Sometimes you got to hear something, take a pause, and really listen to what you just heard. Ladies, I want you guys to hear. In what she said, and I like to give people their shout out. That's why I left her information. Guys, so go subscribe and follow her. But that's bad advice. You don't become a wife after the wedding. Now, if there's anything you shouldn't be doing before marriage, that is having sex with him. Now, come on, all the Christian women. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to all the Christian women, all the saved women, all the spiritual women, because it seems like most women have an issue with serving unless it's sex. As long as you get a chance to get that itch scratched and can be dominated in the bedroom, he can do that. But everything else is being a wife. No, can we get to the meat of what's really going on here? Can we get to the meat of what's really going on, y'all? If you guys want to go there tonight, I want y'all to let me know in the comments. We gotta talk about this. We need to get to the heart of what's really going on. And I'm going to break it all the way down for everybody who's watching. If you guys are ready, you guys let me know. The reason why women talk like this and don't understand that you have to be a wife before you're married for the marriage to be successful is because women think that they can flip on the wife switch like they flip on the femininity switch. And this is why after you get the ring and been married for a couple of years, you go back and you start acting like what you already were prior to the marriage, because you didn't change. You are exactly what you are. I got a show that I'm doing on Wednesday, y'all. I don't want to get into that show, but this is part one. Part two on Wednesday, 6 o'clock. Do not miss it. I'm going to conclude what I'm talking about on Wednesday. But a lot of you women, you just don't know how to serve. Even for religious women, for women who know something about God, the word serve, the word service. Since we've gone so far away from the nuclear family and from having a home, anything that resembles home is offensive. So if I say something like domesticated or housework or keeping a home clean or cooking, anything that ties back into the broken home is offensive because we don't have a healthy concept of home anymore. So women hear things like this and they want a man to mortgage his future on a hope that she'll be a wife when she's unwilling to show wife qualities before. Now let's go here. Let's go here. You show me one car lot that you can go to, a reputable car lot, where they're going to just let you drive any particular car for any length of time before you show some proof that you can afford what's on the lot. You guys, if anybody in here, type in the comments any car lot that you can go to, and they'll let you drive all their most expensive cars without running a credit check, without making sure that you can afford it. Y'all show me any reputable car lot, and then I'll listen. Show me any particular lender that would help you to stay in a home, and they don't do a background check to make sure you can afford what you're trying to live in. It's interesting that we're willing to go and do what it takes to verify our eligibility for homes, for cars. But when it comes to the person you're going to sleep with, well, suddenly there's no verification process. I want to say this, y'all, and I don't want to be offensive, but let me say it like I feel it. Heifer, please. Ain't nobody about to mortgage their future because you want him to give you a ring and to make a lifelong commitment when you won't even commit to showing him what you're capable of as a wife. Heifer, please. Ain't nobody got no time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. And I want you to understand how unrealistic that is. She said something to the effect that women who do these things are pick-me's. All right, y'all, this show is about to take a turn. This show is about to take a turn. This show is about to take a huge turn. Now, I want you guys to hear it. So a lot of you women are willing to stand in line for WIC. When you ain't got money and nothing coming in, y'all willing to stand in line to get some women, infants, and children to make sure you take care of your babies. You're willing to stand in line for some food stamps. If you ain't got enough money coming in and you meet the income threshold, you're willing to stand in line, get up early in the morning to go to that line to stand in line for some food stamps. If they're giving out free school supplies, willing to stand in line to get some free school supplies. If there's a job fair and you need a job, willing to stand in line for a job fair. It's very interesting how you would stand in line at the Gucci store to go get you a nice purse, or just to go and get the new Jordans that came out, or the nicest shoes. Will stand in line to get into a movie, stand in line to get into a concert. It's interesting that you will stand in line when you go into the club when ladies get in for free, and you'll get in there and put on your best dress, on your nicest look, because you want people to see how good you look so you can get in for free. It's interesting. You don't mind being picked in those lines. You don't mind being picked at a job. It's not a pick me when you're doing what it takes to get into the club for free. It's not being a pick me when you're doing what it takes to make your resume stand out so you can be employed. That's not a pick me. It's only a pick me when you're putting yourself in a position to show a man that you are worthy of his love and covering. Heifer, please.
Sir, help speaks in the building.
Sick of it. Listen, I'm tired of the foolery. If you guys ain't noticed it by now, I am so sick of the foolishness that we're speaking. If a man is not willing for you to verify who you, and I'm not talking about him taking advantage of you and using you for the best that you have to offer without showing some genuine interest and giving you a clear plan on what he sees the relationship escalating to. But if you're not even willing to verify why you are pickable, I don't want you to be criticizing anybody who's a pick me, because most of the people who complain about pick me's are people who get picked over. Yep.
Sir, help speaks in the
building. When you go to the grocery store, I get fruit all the time. And I be going, depending on where I go, if I go to a regular store and I'm going to pick up some grapes or some strawberries or some apples, if depending on what season you're in, sometimes you got to pick over stuff. A lot of y'all are bad apples, jealous of apples who are not as rotten as you. Now, this principle can be true for both men and women. A lot of men can be very rotten apples as well, jealous of men who have put themselves in a position to be ripe and to be fruitful. Just hating on people who have done the work, but you done sat there and they got rotten, and anybody who get picked is suddenly a pick me. Well, isn't part of being picked me is being useful? Isn't part of being a pick me? Oh, hold on, we said you had value, right? What good is value that can't be used? Dang, y'all telling me tonight, what good is it to say how valuable you are and that value can't be used? It's a contradiction in this culture to say that you are a woman of substance and a woman of value and then criticize other women who are pick-me's when they have shown themselves to be of value and useful to a man who can do some good with her in his life. The delusion. The delusion. So as we are here, I've come to the conclusion that every man who is watching this and every woman who's watching this as well, I want you to encourage your sons to marry the maid and to hire the boss chick.
Sir, hell,
I want every man and every woman to get this in your head, to marry the maid and hire the boss chick. Now, why is this important? Why is a maid, like, why do we have such disrespect for maids? I told you, because anything that deals with home and structure and family and commitment and service is looked at from a place of disrespect. So you hear maid and automatically you think that she's a pick-me, she's weak and she's docile. But let me give you guys my acronym for maid. You guys ready? Every man should marry a maid. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it, I don't care who's in here. Stop marrying these women and dating these women who don't have any manners. If she's showing, like, let me give you guys another little nugget. If you want to know who a person really is, man or woman, if you really want to know who they are when they are comfortable with you is who they are. So you know how you can meet a particular person, and this is why I don't spend a whole lot of time going into different back chats and lingering around, because, you know, when you become too familiar with people, people don't know how to be familiar and respectful. So I've learned as a leader that I either got to choose being respected or being familiar, and I will always choose respect. But you'll start to see, once a woman gets comfortable with you, if the way she speaks respectfully to you changes when she gets comfortable, well, she didn't change. She just went back to what she was. How a person treats you when they get comfortable with you, when the electricity is gone and the newness fades away, and now you guys are settling into some normalcy, that normal, that comfort, that's who she really is. So, sir, if when she gets comfortable with you, she doesn't mind. Guys, I gotta say it. If she can get angry enough to call you a bitch, that's exactly who she is. And you could overlook it, and you could spend your time thinking that it's going to change. You can spend your time thinking that you're gonna love it away. But how she is when she's comfortable, that's exactly how she is. If she's dirty when she's comfortable, she's a dirty woman. You could do all you want. You can go to the stores. You can buy her stuff that you like to see her in. You can make suggestions. But how a person is when they are comfortable, that is exactly who it is. It's the same thing is true with you ladies. If a man gets comfortable around you and he stops washing his behind, that is who he is. Now, you can love past it. You can see beyond it and see his heart and his goodness. But how a person is when they're comfortable, that is who they are as a person. And I'm bringing this up because so many men don't look at a woman's manners, how she talks when she's upset, how she gets when she's frustrated, her ability to handle conflict, her manner, does she care about the way she looks when she goes out? I say this all the time, that people who know me, people who are around me know that if you're going to be with me and you're going to be representing me, we're not going to be found in any pictures together if you don't represent me well, because I'm not about, if you get me as a friend, my whole job is to make you look good. Find me one person who's been on my platform as a special guest that I didn't go out of my way to make sure that I put them in a good light, because that's what I do. When people carry themselves well, they want to see other people look well as well. Well, sir, if she doesn't care about her own self, she doesn't care about her own manners, you have to understand that nothing you can do can change her if she doesn't want to be changed. And a lot of you overlook little stuff because she's cute in the face, she's thick in the waist, and she throw that stuff down on you. And you overlook bad manners. You overlook the fact that she disrespects her mama. See, a lot of y'all talk about you want a man who loves his mama, but a lot of y'all women don't even know how to get along with your own mamas yourself. Don't know how to get along with your father, can't handle conflicts, don't like your sisters, don't like your brothers, don't like other women because women are messy. Well, ma'am, you mess. You don't like yourself because what you're looking at are mirrors. They are reflecting what you are. Men, if her manners are off, you cannot overlook this, because a woman with bad manners will cost you opportunities. A, she's got to be agreeable. Listen, all of these women who are talking about, well, you want a woman who don't think, and I don't know what this is. I don't know what none of that stuff is. Moving your hands, but you ain't speaking no language. Just clapping when you talk. You see a woman who just don't agree. Everything you say, she gotta argue with it. It turns into a debate. You talk to her about her feelings, debate. You talk to you about something going on in your life, debate. You say the sky's blue, debate. You say you don't want to debate, debate. You say you want to debate. She just debate. She don't agree to nothing you have to say. Her presence shows you that she's disagreeable because she isn't comfortable in her own skin. You can't ignore that. A woman who is disagreeable in everything will make every decision, particularly the difficult ones, very hard for your life. She has got to be agreeable. Now, agreeable does not mean stupid. It does not mean doormat. It doesn't mean that she doesn't have a say-so. It means that she trusts you enough to be with you and trusts your direction. And she makes your path smooth and offers perspective when necessary. But these combative women who want to argue you down about everything, stay away from them. She is not agreeable. She's got to be intelligent. Now, this is a big one because so many women talk about, I want a smart man who can communicate. Well, woman, you don't listen. I don't understand how we live in a generation of women who want a man who can talk when you can't even listen. You want a man who can lead, but you can't even follow. You want a man to stand up and wear the pants when you got the pants on. You want somebody to be something that you're not willing to relinquish the position for. You want a man, you're going to have to stop being one. You want somebody to take charge, but you're going to have to learn to let charge go. You want somebody to walk in authority, but you're going to have to stop being so bossy and controlling. You're going to have to learn how to have a couple seats and let that man be a man, to let that man lead, and understand that intelligent women don't have to go around showing the world that they're a boss chick. Intelligence is your ability to adapt to the situation because you understand what it takes to get the desired outcome. Shout out to all my intelligent women in the building. A lot of y'all say men are intimidated by women who are intelligent. No. Men don't have time for women who use the word intelligence to mask their arrogance. That's what men don't have time for. It's not that he's intimidated because you're smart. It's that you use the word intelligence, but really you're arrogant, you're self-centered, you're egotistical, and you can't hear anybody unless their ideas and their thoughts match your own. It's not intelligence, it's arrogance.
Sir Hell speaks in the
I told y'all I came on here to cook tonight. If you guys are enjoying this, if you guys are feeling me, let me know in the comments. I got one more. She also has to be delightful. All right, ladies, I got to give it to you on this one. A lot of you women say you want a man. It is tough to be around you. You don't smell good. You don't look good. You don't feel good to be around. It's just, I don't think a lot of ladies understand that some men love you so much that they're willing to fight their very natural masculine needs and urges to be around femininity to work with you just to be the woman that he believes you can be. And instead of you women taking some time to honor a man who can love you and your imperfections and to love you through your hardness and to see that he really is trying and to give that man the credit that he deserves, a lot of you will fight that man and will hold on to trauma instead of letting that man love you through the trauma you said and you prayed to God for. So you're not delightful because you would rather be in pain than to be healed and to be happy, because your programming is such that the only way you get attention and find fellowship with other women is in pain, because most women don't know what to do with you when you're happy. So a lot of our women want men to be around them and to come home. But the reason most men aren't coming home to a lot of women is because you're not delightful to be around. You've got stuff that you're making him pay for and deal with that he didn't do to you. And although you got a pretty face, you got a painful heart. And the part of the reason he stays is because he knows there's potential in you to be healed. And that healed woman, that woman who has taken her pain and grew from it, who has taken her pain and learned lessons from it, who radiates growth, who radiates understanding, that kind of woman is the kind of woman that men rush home for. Men will rush back from vacations and rush back from business meetings to be around this woman because she is delightful. Women, how delightful are you? When was the last time you had a man to tell you that you're a delight to be around? And this is what I'm saying. Men should not marry the boss chicks, the women who have something to prove to the world about how successful they are. Men hire those women because she's going to sacrifice her family to make you money. Men hire the boss chick, but you marry the maid. You marry the woman that's mannerable. You marry the woman that's agreeable. Marry the woman who's intelligent, and you marry the woman who's delightful. I am Sir Hell Speaks, and I approve this message.
Sir Hell Speaks in the building.
Listen, I'm giving you guys this. Listen, if anybody wants to call in, let me know what you guys think about the show. I would love to hear from you, particularly my sisters. I want to hear from my women, from my lovely ladies. I want to hear from you. I want the world to hear that there is a man who loves women enough to give them the unfiltered truth about how they are. And I'm not trying to make you feel bad. And just because you feel bad doesn't mean that the advice is bad. I am a coach, and my goal is to make you see yourself so that you can have the outcomes you want. If you say you want marriage and a family, I want you to be in a position to not only get it, but to keep it. So I'm dropping the link now. If anybody wants to call in for a bit, I would love to hear your thoughts. And this is an ongoing thing that I'm going to be doing. Tonight's show is part one that I'm talking about. If you guys think that this show was lit, you guys want to be here for Wednesday's show. But I just dropped the link now. If there's anybody who wants to call in, if you disagree with what I said or I left out something, I want to hear from you. I want the world to see that we've got men and women who are striving to be better at this, who want to be good husbands and want to be good wives, and that the conflict that we see, we want to resolve it. I dropped the link. If there's anybody here who wants to call in, I'll keep the lines open for about 2 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up. In the meantime, shout out to Ricky Webster again for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much for your support to the show. And to everybody who's been giving and donated to the channel, thank you guys so much. My goal now over the next year or so is I want to do this full-time, completely full-time. So every donation and contribution you guys give, it goes toward that. So thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate you. All right, guys, I don't see anybody calling in now. If there is not anybody, I'm going to break this show up, and we're going to have some clips ready as we go through this week, because I believe that every man should be in a position to hire the boss chick, but that every man should marry the maid. Marry the woman who's ready to serve, and you can't go wrong. To everybody, much love to you. I hope that you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, tell your mother, your brothers, your sisters to come over here and subscribe to Sir Hill Speaks podcast. This is what I do. I give you guys another thing. I just completed an exam to become a certified life relationship coach. And so I'm working on some credentialing as we speak now. I'm doing this for real, y'all. All the things that you guys send in, I'm working on these things. And I really appreciate you guys' support. A salute to Take Heed to the Message. I want to highlight you really quickly. Take Heed to the Message said something on her Instagram. I should have saved it. Let me, guys, give me 10 minutes, and this is going to be a brief overflow. So Take Heed to the Message has changed my mind or helped me to see things in a different way. Y'all know that I don't necessarily believe in men dating single mothers. just if you're asking me as a man, and let's say I don't know nobody, based off what I've seen, I say no. But Take Heed has shown me something that I believe more women want, but they just don't know how to get. She went on her Instagram post and she didn't just say she thanked God for her husband. She didn't just say she thanks God for having a good man. She said that her man helped save her life. Take heed. I really wish I would have saved this, because you don't know what you did for me when you did that. You posted how your man saved your life and how you honor him for his love for you. Every time you speak and you talk, you reverence your husband as king. Now, I honestly believe that there are a lot of women who want what you have, but either they don't have the mindset to get it or don't have the culture it takes to know what they have to do to want that. And I want to give you respect, because we need to highlight women, not just the women who are bad apples per se, but women who really focus on loving their man and letting the world know that this ain't fake, but this is for real. So I want to give you a shout out, Take Heed to the message, because not only are you an example for women, but you are an inspiration for men. Guys, let me just say this, and I'm gonna get out of here. The truth is that there are some men who are going to marry women that have children. Now, I know we can keep on talking about men, but the truth is, within certain men is the ability to love and to pull out something in a woman if, number one, she's ready and she's willing. She can't be ready and not willing. She can't be willing and not ready. If a woman is ready and willing to submit and to love and to embrace and respect the leadership of a man that wants to come into her life and love her and the children she's bringing in, and she allows him, there are men who will, as long as he knows that he doesn't come second, that he comes first. And although you guys have a blended family, he comes first. There are some men who will love a woman if she was willing and she's ready. The problem is, so many women want a man to come in and to fix, not knowing that in him coming to fix her and her children, he leaves broken. And so Take Heed has provided an example that not only does she submit to his leadership, but that she's an asset to that man's life. And I got to give you a shout out, Take Heed, to the message. I got to give you a big shout out. And you know I respect all that you do. I respect what you do. Much respect to you. Much respect to Keith. Same thing with Mrs. He said and she said. Y'all know how I feel about my brother and sister. And there are other couples on here that we don't mention because, you know, we don't talk about them. But there are a lot of people who are doing this, and I want to make sure I highlight that. And to the women who are going to be wives, a lot of y'all are going to be dope wives, and it's important that you hang around other women who promote this, because all of this fighting going back and forth, you don't want this kind of stress in your home. When you come home from the pressures of life, your home should be a place of peace, and women, you are in direct control of that. All right, y'all. Well, listen, it has been a great show. Much love to everybody. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you hit the like button, you subscribe, and tell people to come back. Watch part 1 tonight, and then to come back again for part 2 this Wednesday. Much love to everybody. Until next time, Sir Hill Speaks is out the building. We'll talk with you again soon. Watch this commercial for the Black Manosphere Conclave. We'll talk with you guys again soon.
Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 난 겨울. Yeah, 가요 콜라. Yeah, 너와 있을 때 I swear. 제가 먼저 zero 폭설한 그 children 꿈에도 I wasn't dumb 나만 빼고 넌 모두에게 참 친절해 배신감이 들어 단판이 돼도 머릿속을 흔드니 ibuprofen 그만해 it's time to stop 승부욕을 자극하는 style yeah. 알면서도 마음이 자꾸 내게 가 아마 빠져버릴까 If you want me back I'll tell you I'm sorry If you want me back I'll tell you stop trying Yeah, yeah, you got me Let it go 얼어붙어 like whoa 띵하고 어지러워 I see 한여름에도 넌 Yeah, girl, you're cold-blooded Yeah, girl, you're cold-blooded I'm like frozen 뭐야 모든 스트레스는 gotta let it go 했어 속에 뜬 데이팅 어플 다 깔아도 보았어 반대가 끌린대 Never sees a track Don't know about me and you Yeah we fell into the cracks Yeah 깎고 너네 no cap 왜 나는 보여 what's happening 객관적일 수가 없이 이미 game white flag and waving fast Yeah I'm leaving back but 말은 don't 너만 보면 나도 내 맘 I don't know 이거 love a relationship 헷갈리기만 해 girl I'll tell you I'm sorry If you want me back I'll tell you stop trying Yeah, yeah, you got me Let it go 얼어붙어 like whoa 어지러워 I see 한여름에도 넌 Girl, you're cold-blooded Yeah, yeah, yeah Girl, you're cold-blooded Girl, you're cold Girl, you're cold-blooded Yeah, girl, you're cold-blooded Yeah, yeah, yeah Girl, you're cold-blooded Girl, you're cold Girl, you're cold-blooded